Alright, let's create some renderings of this now. So let's go into our render settings. We'll go to anti-aliasing. We'll set this to best. And the first thing we're going to do is create some cell renders. So let's go Effect, Cell Render, and we could just choose Outline for right now. And if we take a render real quick, you'll see it'll just give us the outlines of our letters and our geometry. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Output, make sure we're on 16:9 aspect ratio. We can lock this ratio, and then we can specify a file size. So let's go 2000 or 2500, 3000, whatever you want your final images to be. I'll just stick with 2000 right now, and then we'll go to the save path, and I'm going to save these. We'll click save right here, and I'm going to save these as JPEGs. So right now I don't need an alpha on these. So if I go to renders, I'll just call this type cell render, hit save, and now I'm going to render that pass out. So that's going to render out my edges right here, and then I'm going to create an additional render of just the edges. So let's go back into the cell render, turn off outline, turn on edges, go back into save, and now instead of cell, I'll just call this edges, and then hit save, and now we're going to render that out. Now that's going to give us a lot more detail in the center of these letters. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So now we're going to create a multipass rendering. So I'm going to turn off our cell rendering, and let's go ahead and check multipass. We'll hit multipass, add image layers, so that'll give us all this stuff in here. So now we're going to add two more effects to this. We're going to add global illumination, and we're going to add in ambient occlusion. Alright, and one last thing, we're going to go into our geometry. We're going to right click Cinema 4D, compositing tags. Now we're going to go into object buffer, enable an object buffer 1. Come back into render settings. Let's go multipass, add object buffer, and make sure that this group ID corresponds with the object buffer number. Alright, so now we're going to go back into save. Uncheck regular image, and now we want to save a multipass image, this one right here. So let's go into here, and we'll go into here, and we'll call this type multipass 1. And let's go ahead and save that. Now when we hit render, it could take a little while for this to render, because now we have global illumination, ambient occlusion, and all kinds of things happening here. So it might take a few minutes to render this out, so you might want to take a break, let your computer do its thing, and once it's done, we'll come back and do some post-production on this.